Welcome back to the last but not the least important topics of the imaging in ophthalmology lecture series that we've been doing. This is the fourth topic that we're going to discuss, and we'll touch upon both OCT and OCT angiography, which I hope it'll come to use. So what does OCT stand for? Now, OCT stands for optical coherence tomography. And as we can see, optical meaning using light, coherence meaning the use of light waves, which has got a constant phase difference. Now, this is important because it's this phase difference that provides interference. And we'll come back to that in a minute about the reason why it's important to be able to provide interference pattern. And tomography, as we have heard in the previous talks, is a cross-sectional imaging of any structure by slices, providing three-dimensional viewing capabilities. So in a sense, a tomography or a cross-sectional imaging of the retinal structures using light wave consisting of waves with constant phase difference, providing interference pattern, is essentially what we try and do with OCT. So optical coherence tomography. We'll go in a little bit more detail. Now, the principles of OCT is about low coherence or partial coherence interferometry. Now, we've heard this many a times in the past. I'm sure people who've been doing cataract surgery are well aware of the role of low coherence interferometry or partial coherence interferometry in the biometry, where we use this for measuring the axial length of the eyeball in calculating the power of the intraocular lenses. Now, even before it came into ophthalmology, low coherence interferometry has been around for decades, and it's used as a ranging technique or a measuring technique for measuring distances between 2 points using a light source rather than a sound. Now, in order to understand low coherence interferometry, we need to obviously understand the three different segments of this concept. One is interference. What is interference? We need to understand what is coherence. And then last but not the least, what is the need to have a low coherence, and why not a full coherence interferometry? And throughout this talk, you'll find that the first half of the talk, I will try and stress upon getting the listener to understand the principles of the OCT scan, because once you understand the principles of it, then the interpretation of the image becomes very straightforward. So I hope you're with me so far. We've talked about low coherence interferometry and what actually an OCT stands for. Now let's look at what interference is important and what does it stand for. Now, interference is a physical phenomenon that occurs when two waves meet while traveling in the same medium. Now, interference causes the medium to take a shape that is a net result of the effect of the two individual waves on the particles of the medium. The common example that we all talk about for interference is the times that we have sort of jumped into a swimming pool or jumped onto a puddle of water or standing in a swimming pool trying to create waves. And if two people trying to create waveform and find that the waves sort of clash against each other, it's whether the waves are in phase, as in the peaks of the wave meet with the peak of the other wave, causing a constructive interference, or the peak meets the trough, causing a destructive interference. And that's what determines the pattern of the interference pattern that you see. And the commonest example that we see is the ripple tank, which will clearly demonstrate what is the concept of interference. So I just want you